Hello, amazing souls, and congratulations on making it to this far in the integration and activation plan. Today, I have a very dear friend with me, and also somebody who is an absolute rock star. She is the Yes Life queen. Over the years of working together, I've watched her build multiple seven-figure businesses in network marketing communities and within her own coaching business space. So when it comes to integrating finance into launches, Jo Mould, you are my absolute go-to. We have had so much fun jamming out doing this together, and I've loved seeing you soar with this. I've loved seeing your clients thrive with this. I've loved seeing them come back and get it set up for their own business. So it's
Hmm.
such an honor and a privilege to introduce you to the platform, Jo. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. And that was such a humbling introduction. I'm so grateful to you, Kelly, and your amazing team because I'm all about like multiple businesses and multiple incomes and honestly making my life as easy as possible. And working with you and your team means that it's an easier yes from my clients, whether they're joining me in business or whether they're a coaching client. And I'm all about leveraging other people's money to make money. So yeah, let's have a juicy conversation about how we can help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still remember like our first conversations. I was driving somewhere and I remember talking to you on the phone and I could just feel your enthusiasm and your excitement and how deeply you got the power of adding finance
Mm,
to your offer. And what I see is there's two kinds of people that typically come into our ecosystem. There's the ones like you that have a little bit more of the sales background.
mhm,
You have really got the whole concept of leverage and you've really got the whole concept of scale and you've been able to take this and literally plug it in, and I've watched you do things that I could only imagine with it. And
mhm.
then there's others where I feel that they really like the idea and they get the power that finance can add to their business, but there's something missing in that embodiment piece. So can you take me through a little bit in terms of what it is that makes this such an embodied yes and a natural
Mm.
part of your process?
Yes,
Get
of
there.
course. So probably let me step back like a few years before I
Mm-hmm.
was adding finance, before I added finance as an offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a big, like probably a $500,000 a year coaching business. And which was really good, but it was really stressful. It was very up and down. It was very like feast or famine, right? And people were purchasing our $10,000 US programs on payment plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was spending as the CEO and sales head of sales, so much of my energy was being put into was chasing these payment plans of women that, when you're a coach and you're serving at a really high level, these people become friends too, right? And
Yes.
so then I'm chasing these $1,000 or $2,000 a month and probably my money mindset back then was not what it is now. And I was accepting, what I was tolerating, I was accepting. And literally, because those payment plans were, you know, obviously these women wanted to work with us and we had a great program. But it takes a few months to implement and get the results, right? And
So
so
absolutely.
they were in this kind of scarce money place and money was tight. And suddenly then our payment rolled around again. And it really actually put my cash flow in my business in not a positive position, which caused then stress for me and my business partner. And when you came into my world, Kelly, and you explained to me how basically engaging you and partnering with your team and your business would mean that my payment plans would be that wouldn't be a problem anymore. I was like, sign me up right now, like literally. And from that point, it was like, okay, somebody wanted to do a $10,000 program with me. Awesome. I'll connect you to my buddy, Roger. He's Roger looks after me. Love you, Roger. All of your team are amazing. And, as long as obviously they had good, decent credit and employment and all that stuff, it was an easy yes. And then they got to pay that off, not over the year with us, which was meaning like their repayments were 2,000 a month. And then they're down to a few hundred because they're paying it off over 3, 5, 7 years, whatever terms they agreed. And so what that also meant was the clients inside of my coaching containers were in a much more abundant mindset, right? Which means that they then got results from what I was teaching them faster, because they're not on a, oh my goodness, I need to pay Jo and her team that few thousand next month. And it was the month after we started working together that my coaching business did my first $100,000 in income.
Incredible.
Right?
So good. It's literally the power of this. It creates
was literally
that space.
Business and life changing.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now there's two pieces where I see coaches get a little bit stuck, or where they have a bit of uncertainty, where they can kind of lose their authority with the client. So the first place is when they're qualifying the client on our client referral form. Can you talk to me a little bit how you do that and how you were able to pick that up and integrate it so quickly and so confidently? Was there anything there that you did differently with your team, or was it something that we had said that helped that integrate, or was there something that you did?
Yeah, well, I do remember that it was really helpful that your team, the way that you onboarded us as a client was absolutely phenomenal. Like, you really made sure that my team and my VAs, that everyone really understood the importance of, as well, that we're not just like, it's our job. It's my job as the business owner and head of sales to pre-qualify any, finance candidates that I'm sending your way. So we really go through that pre-qual online form basically really well. Like, I make sure I find out, okay, look, I know that you're in a job. What is your job, and what are you paid, and what do you receive monthly or fortnightly? And has there been anything in the past? I'm not judging, but has there been anything in the past about your credit that you want to tell me? Because, and I just say, look, the more information you can give me, the more I can pass on to Kelly and Roger and the team, and the more likely we are to be able to get you a result. So let's just like link arms and do this as a team. I really see lifestyle finance as you're an extension of my business, and I want to send leads that are highly likely to be approved for finance, the same as that they obviously want to go through, that they want that outcome themselves.
I love the way that you said that. Like, is there anything you want to tell me? Like, no judging. Like, let's link arms together. I really love the way that you do that, and I'm having so much fun asking our most successful referral partners what they're doing in that moment, and there's just been gold that's coming out of it. I'm going to go like a step back and a little deeper, because again, this is anybody who's got a bit of sales training. We've got no problem asking you about your financial situation. We're like, let's get in there and like dig around and have a look. There's nothing that we have about asking that. What is like your beliefs that have you so comfortable to ask those questions?
Yeah, my belief, I guess, as a salesperson, I am here to serve. I know that I sell and I'm great at selling, but I'm great at selling because I'm freaking passionate about serving the person on the other side of the Zoom or the phone or whatever it is. Like, whether they're wanting to start with me in my high ticket offer business, or whether they want coaching from me, I ultimately believe that they are in front of me for a reason. And if they're the right person for this, and if they've got the drive and whatever, then, the only thing standing between them and a big yes is the finance, the money side, then like, I literally am like, oh my gosh, I literally have the solution for you. Like, I literally have found the best finance offer in Australia, and I partner with them. I'm really good friends. Like, we hang out personally, myself and the owner of Lifestyle Finance. She's a good chick. I only align myself with businesses who have similar values to me, and we're all about serving and impact on a greater scale. And would you like me to line up for you to have a conversation with their team, and let's see if we can help you to make this change you want in your life?
Yeah. As you speak it, I can feel the transference, and I know the listener will be feeling it as well. What I'm really picking up is that it's a deep embedded belief that you are really here to serve. And you're asking these questions not because you're invading somebody's personal space. You're asking these questions out of duty of love and care for this person to help them get to where they want to be. And that
That's
takes
exactly right.
away that I'm trying to do something to somebody to I'm here to help and serve.
Yeah,
And even when
exactly
you
right.
speak about it, the transference of like, of course I want to talk to these people. Like,
Hmm.
why wouldn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
exactly. And I really, at the end of the day, I really help them to see that, me introducing them to this finance partner that I've gone and sourced and built this relationship with over years. It's not only a win-win. It basically means that we're getting rid of that barrier to entry for them,
Yeah.
whether it's coaching with me, a new career for them, a new business, whatever
Mm.
it is. Like, I'm literally just knocking down that wall. And it's like, well, you know what? You can get started and you can pay it off over this amount of time. And like, my favorite thing to say is, look, finance with lifestyle finance, like, it's zero of your own money down. $0 down. And then while you're learning the skills, either with me or whatever you're investing in, you literally get to take your time. Like, you're not going to be in financial, like, financial fatigue or financial, I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
I
they're
love
not putting
financial
themselves under
fatigue.
financial duress. Like,
Yeah.
for most people, coming up with $10,000 flat or whatever the cost of your courses, like, that is going to put people under financial pressure more than
Yeah.
likely in 2025.
Absolutely. And I think too, in this day and age, most people put themselves into unnecessary places of experiencing scarcity
Yeah.
purely because they don't understand money. And
Yeah,
this piece
that's
that you're
right.
talking about, like they might stretch themselves to try and make your $2,000 a month payment
Mm,
plan,
mm,
yet be struggling like, how am I going to put the food on the table if they have one
exactly.
bad month in business that affects your payment? Where if we outsource
Hmm.
it to finance, not only do we take away that financial pressure, because
Yeah.
$2,000 a month, if that's say $20,000 they're paying you over
Yeah,
12 months, we'll do that for $100 a week. That's
exactly.
$400 a month. That's $1,600 a month back in your person's bank account.
Hmm.
Like the amount of space that creates within their nervous
Yeah.
system to learn from you, to
Yeah,
integrate, to invest in the
exactly.
other parts of their business is
Mm,
so huge. So I love these deeper layers around these questions aren't because we're trying to invade your
mm.
space. It's because we really deeply want to help you. And in
Yeah, and
asking
we
this,
get to help you. Like, that person's in front of me because I have something that they want, and like, it's actually really selfish of me to not do what I can to make it as easy as possible for them. And
yeah.
I actually said to a someone this morning who's coming in to partner with me in my business offer.
Mm.
And he actually came back to me and said, "Oh, I've run it all past my wife. She's the numbers girl, and
Mm-hmm.
she, to be honest, she's freaking out about taking that much out of our savings." And I was like, "Well, that's easy. Let's just finance it."
Yeah, that's great. It just blows that argument out
He
of the
was like,
water.
"Is that possible?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just hadn't talked to you about it because you had said that you want to use your own funds. But if that's going to mean that she's less concerned, then let's just finance it. Like, I'm about to put that referral through to Roger today.
Great. He'll be
Easy.
so happy.
One,
So
two,
good.
three, done."
Done. And what do you do? Like, I love that. Just it creates so much space, like that objection.
Hmm.
Oh, my partner's not comfortable. Like, well, that's
Yeah.
fine. Let's not drop $10,000. And again,
Yeah.
too, here's the other part that's important to remember is when you do it like this, and if you're using it to invest in business,
Mm.
not only is what you're purchasing often a tax deduction, the interest
Yeah.
on your loan also becomes a tax deduction. So
Yeah.
it's really it's quite clever leverage of other
Mhm.
people's money. It's a win-win,
Very.
and you've also got your cash capital because, like you said,
Yeah.
it's 2025. Who knows what's going to happen?
It is literally like, that is how I sell it. Not that I really have to sell it, but it's like, I'm all about leveraging other people's money to make money. Like, absolutely. Like, that is what the richest people in the world do.
Yeah, 100%. One more question before we
Mm.
jump into how you use this in your launch. So
Yeah.
we've looked at like the beliefs that you embody that really help you moving through those questions on the client referral form.
Hmm.
How do you support clients when they say to you, I don't feel so comfortable with debt?
Oh, oh my goodness. I, I really then go into, I really have a juicy conversation with them about what the wealthiest people in the world do. That
Mm.
they literally, I use the story of Richard Branson, that he didn't have the money to go and buy his first airplane.
Mm.
He went and rented it. for a flight, and he pre-sold that flight, and that is how Virgin got off the ground. Like, that is a great book, by the way, if anyone hasn't.
It is
like
brilliant
that.
book.
And my partner, actually, I didn't know that story until recently, and he shared that with me, and now I share that exact example in when I'm having those conversations with people about debt. Like, you can, there's bad debt and there's good debt. Bad debt is when you buy a flash car. I mean, I love flash cars too. You buy a flash car and you drive it out of the dealership, and it depreciates straight away. It drops in value. That's bad debt. Good debt is when you're actually investing in yourself, in a course, in a program, in a business that's going to make you money. It's very different.
Yeah. And you can also tax deduct it too.
Exactly. Yeah, I need to add that line.
Yeah. It's just that little cherry on top.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I love hearing your passion and your excitement as you're sharing it. Because I think when we're like this with our clients, of course they're going to take on our belief system. Because I can't remember who said it, but it's whoever has the most certainty in a conversation is the person's belief system that will be used.
Yes.
Just like whoever's asking the questions in a conversation is the person leading the conversation.
Absolutely.
So with our clients, we want to make sure we're the ones asking the questions, and it's our empowering belief systems that they're leveraging and borrowing to make their empowered decision. Because the whole purpose of them working with you is so that they can install these new abundant belief systems, these new money beliefs, all of these new tools that you're already the embodiment of, that they're going to receive from you over the 12-month journey. And when they come into our field and they start connecting with us, they're already by osmosis starting to absorb these belief systems. And in this point of the conversation where you're helping them bridge that gap, it's so important that your belief systems in your field, your empowered belief systems, your abundant mindset, it is lit up like a Christmas tree, because that is you giving them the first infusions of the codes that they're going to need for this journey that they're taking. And I'm just watching you as we've moved through this conversation and sharing these aspects. I've just seen it so brightly in your field.
Yeah,
like I can see why you're so successful.
Right,
like, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing this. Okay, so this part I love doing with you when you're coming up to launch phase. And I selfishly love it because I get airtime. But
I know. I'm like, we need to do another one. Let's book one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Beyond that, though, there is genius in how you do this. So I know it's a challenge that you use for your launch, isn't it?
So we either do a 5-day or a 3-day challenge, like a challenge inside a Facebook group where, we invite whoever the ideal people are into it. I give value. And then we make the offer. And what I then do is, and I've been seeding the whole way, like a lot of what we've been talking about in the conversation to this point, I've dropped little things in, like, not so they know what I'm doing, but I'll just be like, I'll talk about leveraging other people's money, and I'll probably in my next launch talk about Richard Branson and what he did. And I'm just planting seeds, right? So that when I get to the end and I'm like, hey, I'm actually going to bring on my beautiful friend and business collaborative partner, Callie Bowen from Lifestyle Finance. And we're going to have a conversation with you about how you can literally leverage someone else's money to make money by investing in this business with me, or this program with me, or whatever it is.
Yeah. And it's fun, and it works so well. And I think too, like, what I'm hearing from this is that as you planned out your challenge, because I know challenges, there's such popular ways for coaches to get clients. It's a very common method. What I'm hearing is that you've planned out your 3 or 5 days to take them on a very particular journey from start to finish. And during that, you've also identified at what points of that journey they need certain seeds to be planted that is going to help them start to expand their thinking and recognize their resources, that their current situation doesn't define what's possible for them. And you're giving them mini breakthroughs that are relevant to, one, meet their ultimate end goal and desire, and also, I guess, excuse me, dissolving and meeting any possible objection they could have before they have it when you get to the offer part.
Exactly.
Yeah. And would you say, like, you've mentioned a couple, the seed around Richard Branson, borrowing other people's money. what would you say like your main seeds are
Yeah.
around having them realize it's not a question of resources, it's a question
Hmm.
of resourcefulness?
Yes. Oh, I talk about that. I talk about resourcefulness the whole way through. I give
Mm,
examples of, that I wouldn't be where I am as the CEO of two businesses that have done seven figures each if I had have waited until I had the money to invest in myself. Like I
mm,
just where I would always be waiting, right? Like, you came into my world because I came and invested in whatever I was doing. And I've continued to do that over and over and over. So I talk a lot about the importance of obviously first up investing in ourselves and
mhm,
obviously celebrate them because they're in this room and some of them will go on to invest in themselves out of this process. And then I really talk
mhm.
about the importance of resourcefulness that most of us in 2025 don't necessarily have a spare 10, 20K under the mattress or in the bank account. And actually that, I've found a way to help women to get really resourceful. And I also talk, I think on about day 3, I always find a way to talk about good debt and bad debt
Mm,
because I know that, we've all got our money stuff from our childhood. And,
mhm.
some of us grew up that I didn't, but I know that lots of people grew up with if you can't afford to buy it with your own money, you don't get to have it. And
Oh,
it's
yes.
I still have friends who are like that. They won't use Afterpay, they won't use anything. And I'm like, that's cool. I don't operate like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's true though, like there is times where there are certain things that it is,
Of
it's
course.
probably better off your own money, but this kind of stuff where you
Mm.
can literally collapse 10-year
Collapse
timelines
timelines. Yeah.
and bring it into your 2 5 year
Yeah.
reality. This is intelligent use of other people's money. This
Mhm.
is a clever use of resources. And one of
Yeah.
my favorite things to sort of say is that
Mm.
one of the most empowering questions you can ever ask is how do I turn my $200
Mm.
a week or even $100 a week into something? How do I make this
Yeah. Into
multiply?
100,000.
Yeah, how do
Into
I make this multiply
yeah.
to be able to get a
Yep.
substantial amount of money to then invest in something or just to multiply? And
Yep.
then it's like, okay, well, $100, $200 isn't going to do me much, but I can go to the bank. The bank for that a couple of $100 a week will give me $10,000,
Mhm.
$20,000, $20,000 now, and I can invest in a business and a mentor.
Yes.
Now I've got a business and a mentor. I have an asset. I have an asset that's going to
Exactly.
continuously keep producing money. Then the
Yeah.
next question is, how do I get this asset to do it without me present?
Yeah.
And then this is that leverage game. This is the unplugging game. This
Mhm.
is where the power happens. And I think when we have these conversations in our challenges, it's really impactful. And I guess too, like we've been talking about this from a money return on investment piece.
Yeah.
If somebody isn't so much about money return on
Mm.
investment, if they're doing something around relationships or
Yeah.
their health, how would you invite this into that conversation within the challenge space?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I mean, the same thing, right? It's return on investment. Like if you're wanting, all right, I'll give you a really vulnerable and real example.
Yeah,
I
please.
left my marriage 3 years ago, and I knew that I could be in a happier relationship for my future,
Mm,
and I knew as well after last year, after pretty much after 3 years of leaving, I knew that I was not going to invite that amazing partner into my future if I didn't do some serious work on myself. And I'd lost my brother years ago. I needed to do a lot of deep grief work, and it cost me
mm,
about $10,000 over three
mm.
months. And literally within a month of finishing that work, my now partner, who is the biggest love of my life, walked into my life.
Oh, I got
And
goosebumps.
I know that wouldn't, maybe I would have met him still in my little beach town, but if I hadn't have done that work on myself, I would have done something to stuff it up, right? Because I needed to
Mm,
do that work on myself to heal my heart. And the same with our health, right? Like I go to the gym, I have a personal trainer, I invest in sauna sessions each week. Like, okay, those are small investments, but every time basically I'm putting money into my body and into my health by those ongoing
investments.
thank you, that's the word.
Yeah. You're welcome. I've got you, babe. I think too, like what you've mentioned is that we often, when it comes to something outside of our bank balance, and we're looking at a more like personal realm in relationships or our health, we can, for whatever reason, I don't know why we do this, we tolerate so much like subpar experiences and be like, oh, I'll put that off, I'll deal with it when, as opposed to like what you're saying, like this is, again, this is the quantum collapsing of timelines by you being able to make that investment. When you invest in your health, you're instantly raising your vibration, which means you're instantly changing your point of attraction. So you already start calling in better things for yourself. And it's like the same with relationships. The moment that you start to do that work, like people think relationships, oh, I'll deal with that once I've made my business. Ask most entrepreneurs, they're kind of in that basket.
Well, look at me. I'm 10 years into entrepreneurship. My brother died 14 years ago. I finally did the work, but slow, but I'm glad I did.
And the way that you can connect it is, sure, you might not think there's value in relationship work if like if you're looking at return on investment, but I'll challenge it because everything in this universe you're in relationship with. We live in a vibrational relational universe, which means everything is about our relationship with it. If you have dysfunction in your relationships, like if you have anxious attachment or avoidant attachment, you're going to play that out with your clients, you're going to play that out with your staff, you're going to play that out with your suppliers. It's going to be played out everywhere. Just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you get to get off, let free of your own nervous system dysregulation. Like it's going to be continuously reflected. And I guess the question is, and if we're looking at this point of return of investment outside of business, you not addressing this, what is it costing you? How is it affecting you in every area of your life because you don't have this? And the frames that you want to build is having them see the windows of the value of your thing, like the impact that health has to business, the impact health has in your relationships. If you're unhealthy, you're not going to want to have sex with your partner. You're not going to want to connect. You're going to feel shit about yourself. So it's costing you here. If you're unhealthy, you don't have the capacity to expand and hold the clients and do the marketing and do the calling. You're not going to want to be in front of the camera. So this is where you start like linking back of like expand on how this particular area is affecting you everywhere so that they can see the value to link it in.
That's exactly right. Like without I think you've explained that perfectly. I think whether it's relationships, health, business, whatever it is, like they're all just as important as each other. And there's, I've definitely had clients, use finance with lifestyle finance to come and work with me and do not so much mindset work, but to help them really pivot and look at what they're doing with their life. It's not necessarily going to make them money right now, but I guarantee they will quantum leap at some point because they've invested, they've put money in that piggy bank of themselves.
100%. And sometimes it is, how much money is this investment today saving you? Like being unhealthy is very expensive.
Of course it is.
If you get sick, like it is so expensive. So like
especially when you're an entrepreneur.
The investment now of $10,000 into fixing your health, then the 20,000 and the loss of your business it could cost you later. Like there's many different ways to stack that value. I'm going to say last-ish question around when you introduce, like the part where you and I get on and jam in your challenge, is that the day before the pitch, like of a 5-day challenge? Is this like day 4 or is it like where in that process?
Yeah, we do it on day 4. Yeah, we always do it just before the pitch. That's because I don't want them to be, and we, like none of us and you guys watching this, we don't want our potential clients to be watching a pitch and have the story running in their head. Well, I can't do that. I can't afford it. And they'll turn off. Like they'll either literally press stop and stop watching, or they'll start doing something else and get distracted. I want them coming to that pitch knowing that, okay, well, maybe there is a way and Jo has my back. And so I'm just going to sit here and be open. I talk a lot about through the whole challenge and in my content daily about being open. Like I'm always open. I'm where I am in business because I'm open to
Yeah.
the fact that I don't always and often have the answer or the right answer, like the best answer, the best solution. And I'm always open to that. The same, which is how I discovered you. I was like, there has to be a way that like I can help people to be able to pay upfront for this and me not have to be scrambling for payment plans, because there's nothing more painful in the world.
Oh, it's so bad. It's not, and then, but what happens too when you're chasing payment plans,
Oh,
that just like when your clients are in your field, you're transferring your genius to them.
yeah.
If you can also take on their scarcity when
I
you're stuck in
was.
this cycle with
Yeah.
chasing payment plans, like they're feeling financially stressed, which then passes on to you, which then affects the field. Like it's a
Yeah.
whole ecosystem that
It's a whole thing.
it can go both ways. It's like the infinity symbol. It can go
Yeah,
both
that's
ways.
exactly right. Yeah, it can.
Yeah. So, and I think too, like the thing that I really want to land here is that we are here to help support you,
Mhm.
support your clients, to make that yes easy. And even when Jo and I do this together, and I do this with other referral partners, we talk about all of the different success stories we've experienced by having this process available. And because both Jo and I have used finance in multiple stages of our
Yeah.
life and our business journey and our growth journey,
And
we
we
also,
continue to.
and we continue to, and will continue to. So I was just like, I'm not using my own money for that. But
No.
and so we also create together through our conversation this
Mhm.
transference for the listener that then it allows them to try on our stories of
Yeah.
success, and the stories of success that we're sharing. It allows
Mhm.
them to try it on, that they get to be the hero in the story too, that
Yeah.
it can work for them. So
Yeah.
that's really the place that we're coming from
Mm.
with this, and to like, please use us, like use me. I'm here to support you, because it's one of my most fun conversations, and I
Mm.
love seeing the clients go through this, and they can contact me afterwards, and I'm happy to answer any
Exactly.
questions and all of the pieces. Like once they come, it's like a family connection between your business and our business.
Yeah.
And once they all come into the ecosystem, we want to look after them and care for them just as deeply as you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you do, and you and your team, everyone that I've ever sent to you, and and what I love about this as well, when people, when my clients have been open to this being part, being their yes, they then come back and use lifestyle for other things, and they're like, oh,
They
I'm going to
do.
do that now, and I'll do that coaching with Jo, and then I'll partner with her in that business, and it's like, yeah, it's an ecosystem.
It is such an ecosystem. So, is there anything, this will be the last question,
Yeah.
is there anything that we haven't touched on or we haven't discussed that you think is important for anybody new to this process
Mm.
to know?
Yeah, I think we've touched on a lot. What I would say, if you're watching this and is, like Callie and the team are literally here to get into bed with you. Like I knew nothing about this. Her and the team have, they've come, like I said, they've trained my team, they've created documents, they've even come and trained and spoken to my business partners in my high ticket offer, so that they all really understand the power of leveraging other people's money to get people to start with them. And like nothing is ever too hard, because when it's a business partnership, as this is with you and your referral partners, like you will literally do anything for them. But but it
Absolutely.
also starts with us, right? Like I had to learn how to, like, my first conversation about finance wasn't pretty, like it was probably not attractive, and I made lots of mistakes, but I recognized that in order for me to have that, like I really wanted to have 100K months, to be honest, like that was a goal for me. And
It's fun. 100K months are great.
the fact that I did that with so quickly in that first launch with you, I was like, oh my goodness. But the reason that happened was because I got out of my own way, and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll get Callie on this Zoom as part of the challenge. And I felt, I was nervous and uncomfortable because it was a new topic. Like I'm not a finance girly, and but I leaned on you because you're the expert, right? Like you guys, the referral partners, we don't have to be the experts.
No.
So we get to actually leverage lifestyle finance in the team. And that to me would be my biggest piece of advice.
Amazing. Thank you so much. There has been so
Pleasure.
much gold from this, and I'm so excited that we get to share this. Is there the challenge piece, because you are
Mm,
such a queen at it?
yeah.
If anybody watching this wanted some support with challenges,
Yeah.
is that something you offer?
Yes, absolutely. I coach and train business partners, business leaders and that all the time because we
Amazing.
do rock at it.
Yeah, you really do. Okay, great. So here are the key takeaways. There's been many beautiful things from this. If you've got a challenge coming up and you would like me to jump on with you and support you, we do it the day before you close. Let me know. Give me like a week's notice and I will be there with you. We can even we can have a meeting beforehand so you can let me know exactly what points you want to land and I'll make sure we cover that for you and we really land and ground those pieces. And if you want additional support of like how to run a six-figure challenge, then Jo is your queen. I will have links around this video as well. Get in contact with her. She is amazing. Jo, thank you so much for your time. I love you so much.
I love jamming with you.
Thanks, gorgeous.
Bye.
Bye.